going for international masters in security, intelligence, and strategic studies.
Since I got the opportunity, I have to utilize it very well to come out as the best.
I hope to be able to contribute to the development of the health sector in Nigeria, make healthcare readily accessible.
There's not a single scholar that has gone to Europe and coming back that has not mentioned to us that this has changed their lives and this has changed their opportunities when they came back to Nigeria. So for me, having that, personal experience translated into real life changes, that's really marvelous to see.
Let me start by congratulating Nigeria and congratulating Nigerian awardees. You should give yourself a big pat on your back for succeeding in being awarded the ERASMUS postgraduate scholarships. As you know, you have been selected through a highly competitive global application process among over 15,000 applications. So, well done.
The Erasmus Plus program has demonstrated that with a shared commitment, Nigeria and Europe can work together to nurture educational excellence and foster cultural exchange in a mutually beneficial relationship.
The NUC is proud to be associated with these young awardees of the 2023 edition. I therefore congratulate you all on behalf of the Commission. The scholarship is a testimony of your hard work, your self-motivation, and intellectual credibility.
What Nigerians should expect is more knowledge in our country as regards wastewater treatment. We know in advanced countries there are things like wastewater sludge treatment and all that, but in Nigeria it's not prominent as of now. But based on what I'll be studying, I'll be coming back to apply knowledge in that field and ensure we have access to clean water and sanitation.
So I think the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship is actually a very, very great opportunity. It's one that can broaden your horizon, and I believe it can change your life for good, for even the best, if you make the best of it.
You will represent de facto your country in the countries where you're going to study. And once you're back, we expect you to become also true ambassadors of Europe in Nigeria. Good luck, well done, and thank you very much.
Erasmus! Okay, great. Thank you.
Mr. Saleh Mohammed, are you here? I just need to be sure Mr. Saleh Mohammed is in the building. All right. So while he makes his way here to take us through the housekeeping rules, may I please ask that we settle down? Let's take our seats. Let's be prepared to actually start. We apologize for the late start of this event. Definitely due to circumstances beyond our control. But then we're starting right away. Tech, what's going on? Are we good? Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to this event where we're definitely going to see off a number of people who will be going forward to make Nigeria proud. That's exactly what we are going to be doing at this pre-departure orientation for Erasmus+. And this program is brought to you thanks to the European Union, and we'll be talking a bit more about it as the day progresses. But first of all, just a few housekeeping rules as we begin. We have the restrooms on the far end of the hall. That is, when you go out of the doors, you'll find the restrooms to the far left, or that will be your far right. When you get out of the doors, you'll find the restrooms there. If Mr. Saleh Mohammed of this hotel is around, please could you come up so we can have the security tips from the side of the hotel. We would like to have everyone safe and sound as this event progresses and even afterwards. And of course, the Abuja Continental Hotel take security very, very seriously. So, Mr. Saleh Mohammed, are you here or do we go forward? Do we have a cue from Mr. Saleh Mohammed, please? Okay, so we've been asked to give him just a few seconds to join us and give us the security tips as this event progresses. But it's so good to see a lot of young people in the room. It's also great to see a number of parents in the room as well. And that just goes to show how important this pre-departure orientation event is to all of us. And trust me, promises to be very, very enlightening, eye-opening, and of course, would get to learn how everyone can actually be part of this. But of course, to be part of this, it takes a process. And we hope that we are ready for that process as the day goes by. We would like to welcome all our guests who have joined us in this hall today. We know there are so many more being expected, so we look forward to a great conversation, a great learning process, and of course, looking forward to this orientation event. If Mr. Saleh Mohammed is here, we'll take the security tips, security and safety tips from the hotel, just to ensure that we are safe and sound in this premises, in this hall, and of course in the premises of the hotel as we move around. We welcome you all once again and would like to say thank you for joining us today. We have a number of things on our agenda for today. We'll have conversations with the alumni, we'll have conversations with the awardees, we'll have conversations as well, or get to hear from those who are still on the program in Europe as we speak. And of course, we'll get to hear from the Nigerian government and the European Union as the case may be. So we'll take the security tips first and then move on to the program. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to hear more about this program thanks to the EU ambassador. We'll hear more about the program, but just to let you know that Nigeria is actually in a very interesting place of countries that have the highest beneficiaries of this program. Rating or ranking number 5 is definitely not an easy task, but we are number 5. Of course, we have a youth population that keeps growing every single day, and that is why, you know, we have the highest number in Africa as well as part of the Erasmus Plus program. So, Mr. Saleh, are you here? Okay. So we welcome Mr. Saleh Mohammed. Please give him a warm applause as he makes his way here. Thank you.
Good morning, participants. Welcome to Abuja Continental Hotel, the safest and the most secured place to have your event in Abuja. Saleh Mohammed is my name. I'm the hotel safety manager. It is a tradition here to tell our participants the safety and security tips as regards the use of this hall, so that we will not record any incident that relate to safety or security. However, before I continue, if there's a need for you to use our convenience, it's very easy to locate. If you just walk out of any of the entrance doors, turn to your right. Before you get to the exit, you see the convenience to the left-hand side. The first one is for the female, while the second one is for the male. You are advised to look before you enter so that you will not enter wrong place. Aside that, today is not scheduled for a fire drill. Therefore, if there's a steady ringing of fire alarm bell for 2 to 3 minutes or beyond that, that suggests that something might have gone wrong somewhere or it's a false alarm. Whatsoever the reason may be, please don't be panicked, be calm, because we have certified emergency response team members who must always act accordingly should something go contrary to our expectation. If evacuation becomes necessary, we have 2 assembly points. 1, if you exit the entire Ladi Kwali Hall, turn to the left, you will see a signage, emergency assembly point. You are expected to assemble based on your group. If assembling there will not be possible for whatsoever reason, we have secondary assembly point, and you can get there by using any of the exit doors I'm pointing. When you walk out of it, turn to the left, you see a directional sign that will lead you to the secondary assembly point. Then on the security aspect, this is a public place, though it's a controlled environment. It is very important that your personal valuable belongings, more especially a mobile phone, I repeat, more especially your mobile phone, should not be left unattended. It's not just applicable to this place, it's a global best practice, so that opportunity will not present itself for someone to cater away with your valuable belonging. It is very, very important to take note of this, more especially based on your crowd like this. Then, for those who are here and not for this program, we have 2 strong advices to give you. 1, you are advised to meet the organizers and register properly, or take a bow and leave, because the current safety and security architecture of this hotel will not be favorable for you. We will detect you. We parade you for other attendees to see you before we hand you over to appropriate law enforcement agent. Please be guided so that you don't feel embarrassed later. Probably you think as the crowd is much, we cannot be able to detect whatsoever abnormality you want to do. This is not the place. I repeat, please be guided. On behalf of the management, I wish you a successful program. Thank you so much.
And that was Mr. Saleh Mohammed, representing the security team of the Abuja Continental Hotel, taking us through the housekeeping for today. The Minister of Youth Development, ably represented, the European Union Ambassador to Nigeria and the ECOWAS, the EU member states ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corps, other government officials here present, private sector players, members of the National Youth Service Corps, young people and their parents here present, members of the press, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to this pre-departure orientation event for the Erasmus Plus 2024 Scholarship Awardees. This is an event where we'll get to meet the awardees, hear some of them tell their stories, and indeed have new ones on board. We'll also have a study fair at some point during this event. But then this event is to prepare participants for their upcoming experience and equip them with all the necessary skills and knowledge to excel. As we say, and it's a slogan here, it says, no japa, just go and learn and come back. And okay, I'm hearing some ruffling. Any problem? Are we not learning and coming back? Oh, you people are going. Oh, okay. Just to be sure that we're coming back. Anyway, my name is Inya Ode, and I'll be taking you through this event. We promise to make it as brisk and as brief as possible because we know that there's quite a lot of other events to attend to. But without further ado, would like to just invite for her welcome address one who is an African. She looks like she's from somewhere else, but we have taken her as our own. Yes, she has served as a diplomat, serving as the ambassador of Italy to Cameroon, to Central African Republic, to Chad, and to Equatorial Guinea. And of course, this makes her an African through and through, and we have claimed her as our own in Nigeria. She is the European Union Ambassador to Nigeria and the ECOWAS, Her Excellency, Ambassador Samuela Isopi, to give us a welcome. Please, a warmer round of applause for this woman of excellence.
Thank you. Thank you, and good morning, everyone. How are you today? So let me start by congratulating you and by asking you two important questions. Are you happy? I cannot hear you. Let me ask again. Are you happy? Are you ready? I cannot hear you. Are you ready to enjoy your unique Erasmus experience? Oh, now I can hear you. This year we have two important milestones to celebrate. Listen well, that 142 Erasmus scholarship awardees. I think this deserves a round of applause. And the 20th anniversary of Erasmus Mundus. So 142 awardees is a great achievement indeed. Do you agree? You agree? All of you, all are awardees, as you know. You have been selected through a very competitive process at global level, conducted by a consortium of top European universities. So you can really be proud of yourself. And you have made Nigeria the top country in Africa and one of the top 5 in the world, with the highest number of Erasmus awardees, together with Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and Mexico. Nigerian students, we know, have a very strong reputation. They are considered everywhere already as the best, and you are the best among the best. As you know, this is a master degree study program that we run for from 12 to 24 months. Our awardees will go to different universities in different countries in Europe, including several EU member states. And during that period, each awardee will have the opportunity to visit several EU countries. And I would like to thank our member states and my colleagues, ambassadors of European Union member states that are here with me today. A round of applause for them. They will be the one that will host and welcome you. In 5 years, you may have seen images from the past few years. In 5 years, from 2019 to 2024, Nigeria has been able to exponentially increase the number of students participating in the program. Nigerians were only 44 in 2019, very, very little. And this year, again, Nigerians are 142 after the record number of 200 in 2022. This makes us very proud, but we know that Nigeria has a much, much, much higher potential. And we expect the numbers to continue to grow in the years to come, and we need you for these numbers to grow. We need you to give the example to other good Nigerian students like you. Now let me say just very few words about Erasmus. Erasmus is the most successful program of the European Union to support education and youth in Europe and across the world. It is a concrete example of what I call a win-win cooperation, because it shows, first, the strong mutually beneficial partnership between the European Union and Nigeria. Just 2 days ago, in this same hall, we celebrated this cooperation at the 9th EU-Nigeria Business Forum by reminding how the European Union is Nigeria's first trading partner and investor, and how the European Union is contributing to the economic growth and development of the country. Second, this program demonstrates our openness as European Union, our openness and our readiness to offer regular migration opportunities for young Nigerians based on their merit, based on their talent, based on their capacities. Third, this demonstrates our commitment to creating concrete opportunities for Nigerian youth. And again, at the Business Forum, we have highlighted the contribution that the private sector of the European Union is giving to the creation of decent jobs in Nigeria and to development of skills for young Nigerians. And next week, during the Lagos Startup Week, we will host the first edition of the EU-Nigeria Innovation Days, where we will once again celebrate Nigerians' talent and disclose the potential of the cooperation between the EU and Nigeria on research and innovation. And the youth, once again, will be at the forefront, because the youth is at the forefront of innovation. Youth and human capital are indeed at the heart of our cooperation. Our head of cooperation, Massimo De Luca, will tell you more about what we are doing in Nigeria and what we are doing for Nigerian youth in particular. One cannot cooperate or engage with Nigeria without prioritizing its youth, without investing in the future of the country. That is what the Erasmus program is all about, investing in future generations of citizens, future generations of entrepreneurs, and future generations of leaders like you. In the words of former US President Franklin Roosevelt, we cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. Now, back to you, our awardees. This is your day, a day to celebrate you and to celebrate the beginning of a journey. Not a journey to Japa, no Japa, but a journey towards a better future for you and for your country. So let's repeat together our slogan. Erasmus, no Japa. Okay? 3, 2, 1, Erasmus, no Japa. Once again, Erasmus, no Japa. Thank you very much and all the best to all of you. I should have recognized another colleague, a special colleague that I see here in the first row. My dear brother, friend, and EU-Nigeria ambassador, Eni Oluwa. Do you know him? Dear Eni, he is an ambassador of EU-Nigeria partnership, but also an ambassador of education. Thank you very much for joining us today. All the best. And remember, Erasmus. Thank you.
Is that all the applause for Madam Ambassador? Even our awardees are not clapping. Alumni too, they are not clapping. Intending people, they are not clapping. All right. Erasmus. Oh, okay, when I said it, the volume now dropped, Abby. Okay, is that to show that some people are intending to do something? Anyway, as we have said, Erasmus, no Japa, because indeed we need the skills and the talents here in our country. All right, so moving on very, very swiftly away from that, from the action speech and welcome, by the EU Ambassador to Nigeria and the ECOWAS Ambassador Samuela Isopi. May I now respectfully invite for the remarks by the Minister of Youth Development, Mrs. Jamila Bio Ibrahim. May I respectfully invite Dr. Aminu Abdullahi Isiaku, who is the Senior Special Assistant to the Honorable Minister of Youth Development. Please, let's make the applause warmer for him. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I bring to you warm greetings from the Honorable Minister for Youth Development, Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim, who happens to be out of town this morning. Otherwise, she had loved to be here, share her insights with the youth and students that are traveling under this particular program. However, I would like to begin by recognizing and appreciating the presence of the EU Ambassador to Nigeria and the ECOWAS, Her Excellency Samuela Isopi, esteemed representatives from the European Union, distinguished guests, and most importantly, the brilliant Erasmus Plus winners and their supportive families. Let me start informally by sharing that the Honorable Minister, Dr. Jamila Bio Ibrahim, has been a friend of the European Union delegation in Nigeria since her previous role in Kwara State dealing with the SDGs. She has been partnering with the European Union. And you will believe me when I say she herself is an embodiment of culture, because we often see her, of course, in her unique dressing that incorporates the various touches of Nigerian-made fabrics. So she represents President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision and great interest for youth and gender involvement in government. Now, the Honorable Minister's goodwill message today on the significance of cultural exchange and how Nigerian students can be good ambassadors of the Nigerian culture today at this pre-departure event of the Erasmus Plus. The importance of cultural exchange is a vital aspect of global education, fosters mutual understanding, promotes tolerance, and build bridges between diverse societies. So as you prepare to study abroad, consider these key points. Economic and academic benefits. According to UNESCO, students that participate in cultural exchange programs are 60% more likely to engage in international collaborations in their future careers. Global perspectives. Since its inception, the Erasmus Plus program has facilitated the exchange of students across Europe. And this exposure helps broaden perspectives and enhance cross-cultural competencies. And so participating in this program will definitely add value to this legacy and prepare you for a globalized workforce. Peace and understanding. Cultural exchange fosters peace by promoting understanding and reducing prejudice. Studies by the British Council indicate that 74% of exchange students feel they have a greater understanding of cultural diversity and are more empathetic towards people from different backgrounds. Nigeria's rich cultural heritage. Nigeria has immense cultural diversity and heritage, comprising over 250 ethnic groups and more languages. This diversity is our strength in this country, and it represents a rich tapestry of traditions in arts, music, and literature. So as you step into your roles as cultural ambassadors, consider these aspects of Nigerian culture that you can share. Number one is our languages and literature. Nigeria's literary giants, such as Chinua Achebe, Wole Soyinka, Abubakar Adam Ibrahim, and Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, have significantly contributed to world literature. So reading their works when you go out there can offer insights into our history, society, and values, and you can promote that. Number two, music and dance. Nigerian music, from the traditional bass of the talking drums to the contemporary sounds of Afrobeats, has captivated audiences across the world. So icons like Fela, Anikulapo Kuti, Timi Dakolo, Esa, Wizkid, and Morel have all showcased the vibrancy of our cross-country music, which you can celebrate and also share abroad. Cuisine. Nigerian cuisine is as diverse as our culture and heritage, with dishes like jollof rice, of course, pounded yam, tuwo shinkafa, eba, and other soups like white soup, fisherman soup, and the rest of them. Sharing these culinary delights can offer a delicious introduction to the Nigerian culture. Festivals and traditions, such as Daba, Eyo, Ojude, Oba, are vivid expressions of our cultural heritage, explaining and where possible participating in international cultural events with elements of these traditions can showcase the uniqueness of the Nigerian culture. So what's your role as cultural ambassadors? As you represent Nigeria abroad, you will have the unique opportunity and responsibility, this underlined, to be cultural ambassadors of this great country. Here are ways you can fulfill this role. You can promote the narratives and reject the negative stereotypes about Nigerian youth and all those cyber crimes issues. You can reject those ones and be proactive in sharing the positive values about Nigeria, whether through informal conversations, in your presentations, or in social media. You can highlight our nation's beauty, the resilience of our people, and the achievements that many of our leaders have recorded. So you can build also relationships by engaging actively with your peers and participate in cultural activities, and be open to learn from other cultures as you go out there. You can participate in those cultural events to introduce to your fellow students to Nigerian customs, music, and cuisine. Most importantly, you have to be an example. Your behavior, your work ethic, and your interactions with other people will reflect on Nigeria. So strive very hard to exemplify integrity, respect, and curiosity, if you want, so that you can enhance your reputation and that of your country. So the impact of cultural exchange on Nigeria will be, it will benefit you and bring back valuable insight and connections back to Nigeria. Transfer of knowledge. So upon your return, I just learned a new thing about Jagba. Don't do it if you don't need to. Upon your return, you can share your new knowledge, your skills, and your best practices that can contribute to Nigeria's development. You can network with global networks that you build and can foster international partnerships and collaborations that can actually benefit this country. Cultural enrichment, exposure to the different cultures that you'll be exposed to out there will enrich your understanding and appreciation of diversity of people across the world. And that will make you more effective advocates of cultural exchange and tolerance, even within Nigeria when you're back. So as you embark on this exciting journey with ERASMUS+, do remember that you are not just students out there, but ambassadors of Nigerian culture. So embrace this opportunity to learn, share, and build bridges between Nigeria and the rest of the world. Your role is crucial in fostering understanding and celebrating our rich cultural heritage globally. So congratulations once again, and I wish you all the best in your studies and cultural endeavors. Keep a tabletop Nigerian flag in your rooms, please, and go and make Nigeria proud out there. And don't forget to come back. Nigeria needs you more. Thank you very much for your time.
Let's give it up for Dr. Aminu Abdullahi Isiaku, Senior Special Assistant to the Honorable Minister of Youth Development. Thank you so much once again. Please, another warm applause for him. I'm sure we have heard it all. When you go, come back. No jackpot. Eh? Okay, no jackpot. It's only a few of you I'm hearing, but it's okay. We'll get to the point where everybody will say it. But this is just to recognize again the presence of one of the ambassadors of the EU Africa campaign, a writer, public speaker, art director, social media influencer who joined in at some point. And of course, I know Ambassador has really welcomed him, but let's all give a very warm welcome to Enyiolua Adeolua. Thank you so much for being here. Don't worry, you'll get to hear from him at some point, and trust me, it promises to be really, really interesting. All right, so we're moving on right now to talk a bit more about the EU Development Cooperation in Nigeria. And of course, an experienced official who has demonstrated a history of working in the international trade and development industry will be coming to share with us. He has strong corporate professional skills in public affairs, negotiation, corporate social responsibility, government, and European law. Indeed, he is an institution of his own. He is the head of Cooperation, Nigeria, and ECOWAS for the EU. He is Massimo De Luca. Please, let's give him a round of applause as he makes his way here to tell us about this cooperation that has been ongoing, the EU Development Cooperation in Nigeria.
Welcome.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand on protocols and on the friendship links that have already been developed throughout the morning, with big thanks to those people who've spoken before me and the MC, and of course special thanks to the 97 awardees from really the bottom of my heart. This is something that for me it's also a bit emotional because I was an Erasmus student myself, and I can tell you, if there's one thing in my professional development that has changed my life, has been Erasmus, and it can only be for the better. So, on this note, let me say, you see here at the bottom of the stage, you see a reference to something that is quite important today to remind ourselves, which is the Global Gateway. Now, this is a big initiative of the European Union to invest in connectivity. Okay. So, for the last 2 years, our focus in terms of relationship with Nigeria has been to connect in important projects that can improve connectivity at all levels. Of course, when we talk about connectivity, we immediately think of digital, power sector, but you should realize today that the most important connection that can be created, especially between Nigeria and the European Union, is a connection of people. And this is where we are today. Today we are here giving a huge boost to an important, fundamental part of our connectivity, which relates to people, their connections in Nigeria, in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, and with the European Union. And I'll be very frank with you guys. The fact that we can work together on educational systems, not only Erasmus, but through our peer programs with teachers and universities throughout Nigeria, is something that actually is also helping us Europeans to be more European. Your programs show how a program, a master's degree, can be really European, taking you to different parts of Europe and still come out with one single master's. This is something that I would like to thank you, because you are making a huge contribution to the excellence and to the truly European character of our educational system. I was saying, though, that Global Gateway is really a broad brand that is taking us today in terms of connectivity of people, education, but as I already mentioned, Global Gateway goes beyond education and is taking us to invest massively in the power sector, in the digital sector, with a special eye to the climate change challenge that we face, and on which we partner closely with the government, with the civil society, and with the Nigerian business. I don't know really the composition of this audience. You seem to come from different parts of Nigeria, but I would really like to go back to your constituency or ask your friends back home what they are saying being made by the European Union in your states, and you probably find some projects. Now, when we talk about connectivity investments, it's a very important dimension, but we have to be true to ourselves. The difficult situation that we face in Nigeria, yes, will get better if there are investments. But let's be honest, investment cannot thrive if the fundamental conditions of the country are not right, or at least are not improving. And we know that the security situation, the governance situation, the fundamental rights situation of ordinary Nigerians that have to struggle for their life is not yet what is supposed to be, to ensure really that the uptake of investment be optimal. So this is why our commitment to security, to governance, to rights in Nigeria remains the backbone of our reason for being here in this country. This is why we keep doing our best to cooperate with the states, especially in some areas like the Northeast, the Northwest, but also the Niger Delta. This is where we try to be on the side of people through projects of very different nature. We work very closely not only with government, we work very closely with the civil society, we work very closely with the private sector to make this association as strong as possible. Now, it's very difficult for me to say anything more than that today. I don't want to bother you too much. Just bear in mind that we are in Abuja. We have an office in Abuja. Okay, and I'm saying this to the 97 ambassadors, as the representative of the youth minister said. Dear awardees, do not forget that not only do you have a house, a home back in Nigeria, but you have a piece of European Union in Nigeria that is always going to support you once you get back. And here we are. Especially, I say this not only on the side of the cooperation department, but on the side of the whole EU delegation to Nigeria. So today we published the list, what we call the compendium. It's a Latin word, but I think we all understand it. It's a booklet of all our projects. We published it today on the website of the delegation of the European Union to Nigeria and ECOWAS. So if you go to our website, you will find, I would say, 99% of the projects that we do, because there are always changes. So I really invite you to look at our website, to look at our projects, and to get in touch with the European Union as necessary. Thank you very much, and let's keep in touch.
Please let's make the applause warmer for Massimo. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts and indeed giving us an idea and an overview of the work done so far. Actually, there's so much more to look forward to. And as has been said by the representative of the Minister of Youth and, of course, by the head of corporation, it's a charge to our awardees to give back as you have received. Also give back to the country where you're from, to have strong values, to share positive values, and of course share best practices for the development of Nigeria. And as we have said and we'll keep saying, no japa, come back home and make things work. All right, so very, very quickly we'll hear from a friend of the house. We mentioned him earlier. And right now, he's going to be speaking to all of us, particularly words for the young people in the house. An ambassador of the EU Africa campaign. He's a social media influencer. You all know him, right? Eni is his name. Enioluwa Adeoluwa. Please come forward. Make the applause warm for him, please. That applause is not warm enough. Doesn't he look amazing? Come on, give it up. Thank you.
Oh, wow, it's a really full house. I want to say good morning to all the dignitaries present. Once again, on behalf of all the young people and youths present here, I want to say a very big thank you to the European Union and members of the European Union here. What you do for us as young people is incredible, and you give people opportunities and you give people a light for the next day. And a lot of people, especially in this country, can't afford education even on its primary level here in Nigeria. But you're taking people outside of the country and offering them quality education as well. So thank you, and I would like for everyone to please give the European Union a round of applause. Thank you so much. Well, now to my fellow youths, my fellow young people, great Nigerian students, and of the greatest Gobo, and of the greatest Gbagba, and of the greatest... Yeah, no, sorry guys, this is a very corporate event, so we'll keep it very corporate, yeah. But I know that to everyone, what you've heard most today is no japa. And as a fellow young person myself, and I can understand how that's the most difficult thing you want to hear right now. Because everybody's looking for the slightest opportunity to leave the country. But what I do want to say is that the only people who can change Nigeria is Nigerians. And thank you. I know Nigerians are not going to clap, we're tired. But it is something that we need to think about ourselves. You know, when we go to our beds and we're lying alone, it's very difficult to tell the average Nigerian, because it sounds cliche to everybody that we're the only ones who can change Nigeria. But I hope that everybody puts in the best of their ability. And as we say, our new slogan is ERASMUS Plus. Yes. And even if you eventually, please ensure that you're putting your best in putting the country forward, wherever you are, especially in Nigeria. Please represent the country best as much as possible as you go. And please ensure that you know that you're an ambassador of Nigeria wherever you go. And so please ensure that Nigeria is putting the best foot forward, because it's not just about you, it's also about the others who would come behind you. And so do not take these opportunities from hundreds and thousands of people and generations to come because of a selfish reason. So please, do put Nigeria forward, and I wish everyone the best always. Congratulations to you once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Enioluwa. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for motivating our awardees as well. Indeed, we cannot kill the opportunity for so many others going forward. But if things happen and there's a lot of bad behavior, definitely the opportunity for millions, thousands would be lost. So let's have that in mind as we go forward, that we are indeed ambassadors and we are representing our country wherever we find ourselves. We must behave well. We must bring in the right values. We must bring in the right attitudes wherever we find ourselves and ensure that we make a difference so that this program will not end with us. Okay, while all the speeches were going on, we have had a guest who joined in and would like to recognize the representative of the Executive Secretary of TED Fund, that's Dr. Hadiza Ismaila. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining in. Okay, so we're going to take a very quick break. Nobody is going out, but we're going to have a photo session, and we'll have that photo session while the stage is also getting set for all the panel conversations that we'll be having afterwards. So would like to invite Your Excellencies, all our ambassadors, led of course by the EU ambassador to Nigeria and the ECOWAS, for this photo session, the top table as well, and probably 2 representatives of the awardees to join in this photograph. Sam, are we ready for the picture? On stage? Everybody on stage, please, if you please. Thank you so much. Yes, the top table. Any, please? Please. Yes. Sorry? Ah, okay, she called you. Yes, all of them? All the awardees then. I hear everybody in blue. Is it about Chelsea or something? Okay, just saying. And we look forward to you all coming back. Thank you so much. Are we good? Photos? Okay, we're taking some more. Just stay still. All right. I guess we're good. Photos? Okay. I hope you all don't lose your voices. Your Excellency, I hope you don't lose your voice today. Thank you so much. Please let's settle in. Thank you. As we get ready for the next activity. Okay. There will be definitely a time later for interaction. There will be a time to hear from the various countries and the various representatives, but all that will come a bit later. Which country is this one now? Eh? They're already behaving like they are there. There's still a lot to do. It's always good to see selfies being taken, right? Okay. So we're moving on to the next activity, and that will be tips and tricks on how I got my scholarship. While this is going on, I'm sure we can have the seats arranged for the panel conversation. But let me invite some of our awardees right about now, 4 of them actually, to share their tips and their tricks on how they got this scholarship. I'd like to invite Keziah Garba. Keziah is, yes, I saw, yeah, there we go. Keziah, please come forward. Ofegbu Deborah, please come forward. Also have Abdul Wahab Hussein Ishaq, please come forward. And Suleiman Nuruddin Adisa, please come forward. All right, so we have 4 of them coming on stage to tell us a little bit about their experience. Do we have roving mics? Sound? Okay, so while we're setting up for the panel conversation, we're just going to stand for this very brief discussion. So Keziah, maybe just come to the microphone and tell us a little bit what tips and tricks did you use? I'm sure you guys know you were selected from so many people, so many. It could be thousands of Nigerians who actually applied for this. But then what tips did you use to actually make it through? Keziah, please share.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Keziah Garba. As per tips and tricks, you know, one can't be really sure what earned him this opportunity, but for myself, I was very intentional about attending conferences, workshops, seminars around the world. I attended some seminars in the United States, in Austria, in Egypt, and I feel that was one thing that made me stand out. I pursued grants, I pursued opportunities by joining forums related to my field of study, which is the safe and reliable nuclear applications. So there you see call for applications, there you see opportunities to apply for. And also I was intentional about building relationships with my professors. These are people that during Christmas, during Salah, you call them to check on them, so that when it's time for applications, you need a recommendation letter, you don't just call and you're like, I'm your student from 5 years ago. You build this relationship so that when it's time for people to advocate for you, you have really good recommendations. So those are some things that I believed helped me stand out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keziah. And Keziah is from my alma mater, the great ABU, Zaria. Greatest Abusites. Are we here? Show now, show now, show love. All right, so Keziah mentioned something very interesting, which is about relationships and networks. Deborah, did that work for you as well? Tell us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Actually, what made me to stand out during my application was that I had physical evidence of everything that I wrote in my SOP. For instance, if I wrote that I had training in so and so, I always presented a certificate for what I wrote there. So always endeavor to upload physical evidence of what you have done. If you say you have organized a conference or a training for people, try your best to show pictures of what you have done so far. Also, I had mentors, both my professor and also some scholars also put me through when I was also applying. And I also had some conferences and paper presentation, which I also attended. In total, I had also like 10 conferences I attended, and also had like 9 papers that I had published during the conferences. I wrote the IELTS exams, the English language test, because this is my third time of applying for the ERASMUS scholarship. And when I wrote the IELTS, it really improved and made me to have more chance to get the scholarship. And finally, volunteering. I made sure that I had many volunteering experiences. It also improved and made me to also get the scholarship. Thank you very much.
Wow, interesting. So mentors, then you have the evidence of all the programs that you attended. I like that point about volunteering, and I think it's something a lot of young people actually miss out on. Being volunteers in different organizations can actually help you, gain some traction. Okay, Deborah, I think those tips actually make a lot of difference. Abdul Wahab, share with us.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I actually want to use this avenue to share my experience with you fellows and people who are willing to apply for the Erasmus Mundus program. Actually, what I did really made me to stand out in my application is that I tried to look at my previous application and then bring out the errors I made and now build on them. How did I do that? I tried to connect with like-minded individuals, particularly scholars who have won the Erasmus program, to guide me on how to craft a very excellent CV and then an SOP. In addition to that, I reached out to a scholar in my program who won the scholarship in the year 2022. That guy really helped me. I crafted my SOP, and he was the one that reviewed my SOP. So he advised me to go on the program website to read about the program, know what the program entails, go through the mobility and see in each mobility, what are you going to learn? So from there, I get all the necessary information there, which I fuse in my SOP, which I fuse in my CV, and that really made me to stand out. Thank you so much.
So for Abdul Wahab, connecting with scholars and getting first-hand advice on how exactly to go about the application. All right, Abdul Wahab, how many times did that happen? How many times did you apply?
Actually, I get to know about Erasmus Mundus program in the year 2021 when I was serving. So then I have a colleague who is really in the process of pursuing for scholarship. So he introduced me to a WhatsApp group called NES. We call it Northern Elite Scholars. It's a group that consists of a lot of scholars who have won several scholarships across the globe. So then I get to know about Erasmus Mundus program, where I started applying, where I applied for a program, La Scala, without knowing what the program entails. So directly I got a rejection. So I was like, why will I be rejected despite having all this experience in this field? So I contacted a lot of scholars, particularly an Erasmus scholar, Hamza, who is a bioref. He now explained everything to me, and actually he put me through. Thank you.
Interesting, because this is not something, I guess very few people can just try once and it comes through. Some people must have tried over and over and over again. Suleiman, would you want to share your experience with us?
Yeah, good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nuruddin Sulaiman Adisa. I am from the Federal University of Technology, Mina. I got an Erasmus scholarship to do an international master's in advanced design of sustainable ship and offshore structures, tagged EM ship. In spite of my several grounds on several socio-cultural defects in our country, I must acknowledge the federal government of Nigeria for subsidizing my education. I practically paid $40 to study civil engineering at my institution, per academic session. I also thank the EU for providing this opportunity to advance my course. What is key? Prepare ahead and apply for programs that fit your profile. When in doubt in your applications, reach out to mentors, reach out to program administrators. Communication is key in your application process. Again, note, time is a fleeting companion. And one of my quotes goes thus: those who do not have time on their side, they prepare ahead. If you go on Google search and type Sulaiman Nuruddin Adisa, Sulaiman Sulaimon, Nuruddin Nurudeen, and the Adisa, what you will see is ResearchGate. So be what you want the world to see. You have to be intentional about it. Finally, we have to get used to rejections. We have to get used to it. For after all our pains and struggles, joy will come in the end. Thank you.
And that is such a fitting way to end it. To prepare, right? And prepare early enough. But also to take the rejections when they come boldly and try again. Not to say, I'm not doing this anymore, I've been rejected, but to try again, because I'm sure that is the story for a lot of you. You have been rejected, but here you are today. Joy indeed has come. Please give Keziah, Deborah, Abdul Wahab, and Suleiman a very warm applause. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing your experience. Thank you. Amazing. It indeed takes a process. And just to say, this application is actually based on how good the applications are. And that's why guidance is very, very, very key. It's key to have mentors who have been through this path. It's key to have those who have already seen this or who are experiencing the program right now. You know, it's a competition for the whole world. It's not based on, okay, so we have so-so number from this country or that country. It's a global competition. And for those of you who have made it, indeed, you are privileged and very, very blessed to be here. So congratulations to you once again. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And don't forget that word, Erasmus Plus. The volume is reducing, but I hope we'll get it louder very, very soon. Okay, so we're going to have a brief panel conversation right now as we converse with those who have been through this program. who have been through the Erasmus Plus program. They will be sharing with us. They are now alumni, proud alumni, if I must say so myself, of this program, who did not stay there. They came back. And that is why we say Erasmus Plus, no jackpot. Because coming back, you still have so much to contribute to your country. So I'd like to invite Temi Ami Williams to the stage. Please, let's give her a warm applause. Would also like to invite Winlade Israel to please, go ahead. And Tejumola Bello to join the pack. Please, let's give her a warm applause. Thank you so much. It's not easy to be alumni, I'm telling you. Okay, sorry. All right, so we're just going to go through this and have you share your quick thoughts on your experience, the first-hand information from you on how your experience went, and of course, you know, what it was like for you. Winlade, let's begin with you since you're at the far end. We're turning things around to say men first, right? Okay, so Winlade, let's hear from you. Which countries did you go to, and what was your experience like?
Okay, good morning, everybody. So I am Israel Winlade. I'm popularly known as Winlade. So I had France as my first country of mobility. After spending a whole academic session in France, I went to Senegal. So I was at the Université Cheikh Anta Diop for a semester, after which I went to the University of Bologna for the final semester. So basically, the experience was more about movement. I think that's the experience of an average Erasmus Mundus scholar. You move from one country to the other. For some, it is tiring. For me, it was enjoyable since I love adventure so much. So for my first country of mobility, which was France, what I appreciated most was the quality of education. And this is also proven by the quality of books in the library. I study European literary cultures, which is in the humanities. So we do a lot of reading and writing, a lot of critical analysis, textual analysis, and all that. And one thing that shocked me, perhaps I underestimated the strength of the French academic system, was the extent to which the library, the National Library of France, for instance, was furnished. I mean, I go on the website, I type title of books that come to my mind, and I discovered that, yeah, these books are available. So somehow, I fell in love with the library, and I kept on going and going on weekends just to have fun, enjoy myself, and all that. And I'm sure many of my colleagues had similar experience. And by the time I got to Senegal, I think I had a peculiar experience, given that I moved between two continents. I was in Europe, and I was also in Senegal, which is a country in West Africa. It was my first time going to Senegal, and for me, it was an exposure to another world within the continent of Africa. It was me learning about a new culture, a new people, getting to discover another form of education, and all contributing to reshaping my perspective about life, particularly culture, identity, and all that. And one thing I think is key in my experience is how this has further shaped my perspective and also interest.
Pretty interesting, moving from Europe, coming back to Africa, and of course, broadening your perspective on so many things. And I can imagine how that shock of the library actually came to you, that indeed you can get everything that you need. But Temi, was it the same experience? Temi, you've been, tell us your countries, the countries of mobility. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Temi Ami Williams. My program was Choreo Mundus, very peculiar. It's an international master in dance knowledge, practice, and heritage. Yes, I said dance. But it was not we were not dancing for the whole 2 years. It was intangible cultural heritage research and a bunch of, research methods in anthropology and ethnochoreology. The countries that I went to are France. France was the university in France was the hosting university, Université Clermont-Auvergne. Then there was Norway, Norwegian University of Science and Technology in Trondheim. And then there was University of Szeged in Hungary. And then the final pathway was London, University of Roehampton in the United Kingdom. I spent the longest time in Hungary because they split the cohort into two, so half of us got to spend 9 months in Hungary, the other half spent 9 months in Norway, but somewhere in between you do like a 2-week exchange. That's what happened, and then we had like a 3-month field work period, and I chose to go to Cyprus for that. I did an internship for my field work, and I went to Cyprus to do that. And yeah, then afterwards went back to France for the semester, did some touring around Europe, and then went to London for the final 6 months where we concluded the whole dissertation and did the project defense and did the graduation, and it was good.
Wow, that's a lot of moving around.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, right? But you enjoyed it all through.
Yes, I loved it.
Okay, all right, great stuff. So moving around is what Erasmus Plus gives you. Well, how about you, Teju? Was it the same experience for you moving from the UK to Czech Republic to Ireland? How was that experience for you?
Hi everyone. My name is Teju Belu, and I was an IMSIS scholar. IMSIS is International Masters in Security, Intelligence, and Strategic Studies. And I got the opportunity to travel to the United Kingdom, Czech Republic, and Ireland, with the University of Glasgow being the hosting institution that's in the United Kingdom. So I spent about 4 months, that's like my first semester in Glasgow, after which I moved to Ireland for about 6 months. Then we had the holiday period, and then after that I moved to Czech Republic. It was a very interesting move. I wouldn't say it was rosy all through because you have to sort out your accommodation, acclimatize to the new cities that you're moving to. But it felt really good getting the opportunity to live in these 3 places. And luckily for me, the institutions that I got to study at were all in sync in the sense that they had similar methods. So that was quite easy to transition through. And then, also making friends in these new cities, because in as much as we're going for our master's degrees, you also have to network, and explore these places. So just as you're passing through the institution, the places that you get to visit also pass through you. But I'd say in all, it was a very enjoyable experience, and it's something I would not trade for anything at all. Yeah.
Great stuff. Fantastic experience it must have been for you. And I'm glad you said you'd not trade it for anything else. But some people would say, are there specific courses people need to read? Are there specific disciplines, you need to have to be part of this program? Who would like to answer that? Yes, or disciplines. You went in for what? Dance knowledge. Wow. Dance knowledge, practice, and heritage. So you were dancing all over the place, right? Was that what you did here in Nigeria?
We were not dancing throughout the 2 years. But we did dance, but it was not a dance master. So it wasn't like 100% practical. They're not teaching you dance techniques. It's dance research. And to be honest, when we ended up with that title, they chose dance because it was what the world could identify with. But really, the system it was movement systems as opposed to dance. So anything that comes under movement systems, it can be yoga, it can be any kind of festival, as long as it can be karate, as long as there's a movement system, we researched it.
Amazing. So it's a cut across between the sciences and the arts. You don't have to be in one place, right, Winlade?
It was not, yeah.
Yes, you don't have to be in a science student or art or whatever. The most important thing is to first of all check the catalog for programs that might align with your interest. So I said interest and not course, or because you could see programs that are not really interested in terms of that are not really related to what you study. That's if you look at it on the surface level. But by the time you look further, you discover that you are actually eligible for it. So for me, I studied French. So studying French is a bit of linguistics, culture and civilization, and more of literature. And the program I did was on European literary cultures. So my discipline is in Francophone African literature. Meanwhile, this was something that had to do with European literary culture. So when you take a look at it on the surface level, you would assume that this has to do with everything in Europe. And meanwhile, you could also diversify your options. So I ended up working still on my Francophone African literature, while also learning about other literatures, that's Italian literature, French literature, and all that. So it's very important that you start by making your research, check the catalog. That's the first thing.
Nice. Great stuff. Teju, let me come to you with this, especially with getting into that integration mode, getting into a different country or different countries as the case may be. Some would say there would be a language barrier. Some would say it would be a weather barrier, right? So how were you able to integrate nicely into it?
Okay, so like I said, I went to the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Czech Republic. Luckily for me, my first two countries were English-speaking countries. However, the accent is different. Scottish accent and Irish accents are a bit difficult to understand. So sometimes you have to say, can you repeat that in the nicest way, right? And they are actually very warm people, and then they would say what they were trying to say. But Czech Republic, on the other hand, was a very different ball game. So for me, how I navigated that was I had this app on my phone, particularly when it comes to like going grocery shopping or interacting in public places. So it helps you do like the translation. And then I naturally have an interest for languages, so I try to pick up one or two things. Sometimes when you step into a place and you greet them in their language, it makes them more receptive towards you. Then in terms of weather, all three countries I went to are really cold countries. All I just did was get really nice warm clothes. Like, it's a very worthy investment. So I got nice warm clothes. I made sure I stayed in apartments that were properly heated, like, because some people would ask you to pay your electricity bill different from your rent, while some others would include it in your rent. Some people have the notion that when you pay for places that, you know, include your electricity bill in your rent, it's more expensive. But I found it, you know, more comfortable for me because I didn't have to be mindful of, you know, using utilities. So that was what I went for throughout my stay. And then you just plan your outing. I'll tell you now that something I have been doing since 2021 is to always check the weather before I leave the house. Like, that's something I've had to do. The UK, for example, it has like a very multipolar weather. It could be snowing now, you step out, it's sunny, oh, and you're like, oh yeah, it's sunny. And in the next 10 minutes, It's raining, so you have to be prepared, you know. Just always make sure you are dressed in a way that would, you know, protect you from the cold. And yeah, and then in Czech Republic, the snow was quite a lot, so I just made sure I had like really good snow boots because it can be slippery. So I made sure I had that, and I was fine. And then lastly, I have learned to drink tea a lot because that's something people do to keep themselves warm. So, yeah.
Okay, but that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, but drinking tea in this our hot Niger, how is it going? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, so Temi, let's come to you. Did the weather affect you in any way? Did you have barriers in language and all that? How did you cope with that?
Okay, so at the beginning of my entire journey, they just threw us into language classes immediately. So immediately we got to France, we had to take French for 2 weeks. It was a 9-to-5 life, learning French. And you think you know French because they make you do it in school here. You don't know French until you get there. Because they will speak and you will say, eh? No, I kid you not. I used to get A's here in French exam. And then I'm like, I can speak French. And then I got there and they were like, huh? Like Teju said, it's easier when you can communicate in their own language. They're more receptive. So we had to take language classes. In France, I took French. In Hungary, I took Hungarian language classes every week, and it was compulsory at first. Then it wasn't compulsory anymore. But it's useful for you because when you go out to places, you don't want to keep using a translator every time you need to talk to someone. Because God bless you, you don't have data and your translator doesn't work, you'll be stuck, you know. But yeah, it was mostly just France and Hungary where I really needed to learn the language to be able to communicate. I'm not fluent, don't greet me Hungarian when you see me outside the door. I remember some of it, but it was just the basic things to communicate. In London, it was easy. Everybody speaks English there, even if it's bad English. Everybody speaks English. In Cyprus, because I did my fieldwork in Cyprus, they speak Greek, but thankfully they also speak English. So I didn't really have too much language barrier. But with regards to the weather, they'll tell you, at least they told us when we were leaving, don't buy warm clothes here, buy it when you get there. But we don't listen. We'll still buy the warm clothes here. Then go there and realize it's useless. And then you have to buy again. So like it's easier when you like get to the place, you can fill out the weather, and then the people there will tell you what you need to get to like save yourself from harsh weather conditions. And in countries like Hungary, where it's like dry, cold, it's not the wet one like in Norway where you have like snow and it's not that bad. But when it's dry and your ears almost want to break off, you will know exactly what you get when you get to those countries. Also, you just won't go out when, I don't know how it is for other people, but I kept telling everybody in my program, I'm Nigerian. We don't go out in the night when everywhere is dark and it's cold. Because it will get dark by like 3 p.m. in the afternoon during winter. And people are like, oh, let's go to, I'm like, nope, it is night. But it is 3 p.m. You know, just choose your timing yourself. Decide when you want to go out. Decide how you will protect yourself when you're going. And if you need to, if you don't need to, don't do it just because everyone else is doing it. You will find that you will suffer yourself for no reason.
Interesting. So the advice I think I'm taking away is that buy the clothes you need there. Don't buy from here. Okay, great stuff. Milade, your experience, whether, well, I mean, you are French. Let's leave it, Abby. We should say you are a Frenchman.
I'm in Nigeria.
But that was what you studied, right? So you went to France, you went to Senegal, you know, and then maybe the only difference was with Italy. How did you cope?
Okay, so since I already have an advanced knowledge and proficiency in French language, coping in France was not really difficult. I think the only thing I needed was to adjust with the system of education over there and all that. And to also, because I had no basis in Italian literature, and at master's level, we had to do a catch-up game, so it was quite intensive, but everything was in French. Meanwhile, I needed a proficiency in Italian, because right from the time we received the offer, it was specified that we would need Italian to defend our thesis. So I needed some level of proficiency in Italian, so we started taking classes right from the first year. But I think the shocking thing here is Dakar in particular. Dakar, yes, Dakar is a francophone country. They speak French, but interestingly, one, I struggled to understand what they were saying because the accent was very
But it's
different.
French, right?
Yes, French.
Okay.
French. There is this inflection of their mother tongue, which is Wolof, in their French language. So an average person on the street would speak like a Wolof. You know, it's more or less like a Yoruba person speaking English or an Hausa person speaking English. So there is always that inflection, and if you are not used to it, you will definitely have difficulty understanding what they are saying. So that's on the one hand. On the other hand, many of them do not understand French when you go to the market. So Wolof was a more popular language on the street than French, and they were more willing to speak Wolof than French. So at first that was very much difficult. So bit by bit, you had to start learning. So even if you would not speak the language, you start, okay, good morning is assalamu alaikum. So you say it, assalamu alaikum. And mangifi, so stuff like that. So that was how I was able to cope. So back to Italy. On getting to Italy, I was informed that I needed to take some classes in Italian, and I was also going to write an exam in Italian. So meaning that I needed to double my hustle and ensure that I'm able to communicate in Italian within, I think, 2 to 3 months. So that was also very intensive. So I think the takeaway here is that Erasmus Mundus programs are very intensive, and given the process of selection, they understand the ability of those who have been selected, and they are definitely not going to be subjected to what they cannot bear.
Interesting. So whatever you go through, it's because they've seen the resilience, so to speak, right? Because you actually need a lot of resilience, right, Teju, to go through this program. Okay. So while talking about resilience, well, what's that key message you'd have for the awardees or would-be? I mean, we have so many people in the room, right? Would-be awardees. What is your message for them, really?
I'm going to tell you that your degree is going to test your mental health. And trust me, it's not a bad thing. We all went through it because don't forget, you're trying to maintain stellar grades. You're moving from one place to another. You're trying to acclimatize. And you're still trying to have a good time, right? So trying to balance all of this is not easy. But I'll tell you that having your little village, your little support system is so vital for this journey. It could be your classmates, it could be your family, it could be anybody that just brings you comfort.
What
right?
was that for you? What was your support system?
It was my family, and then I had classmates that I was, close to. There are times you'd have deadlines and your brain is just like, I don't want to work today. Do you understand? It might even be for more than one day. Your brain is just like, I can't, because it's quite a lot, right? But just having that support group, and then sometimes you just call your friend and you're like, my brain is not working, and the person's like, I feel the same way. You guys laugh about it, and then you feel somewhat lighter. Then you encourage each other to ensure that that deadline is met. So just make sure you do that. And you have to, I would say it's very important to strike a balance between the academics and the non-academics. It's something that would help you, relieve stress to an extent. But something that I would also say is that when you feel heavy or when you feel like things are a lot for you, please open up. people don't know it, but there are international students who, you know, get so affected and it gets like really bad for them. But your schools have mental health, you know, services. Take advantage of that. You don't need to go and pay no shrink to do anything. Just ask and they would provide it for you. If you don't understand, don't come and be forming, I graduated with first class, I'm smart, no. Ask questions. You know, it could be your lecturers, it could be your classmates, just ask questions. If you feel like you are not able to meet up with a deadline and you have a tangible reason, ask for an extension. Just make sure you take it easy on yourself, because it's only somebody that is okay upstairs that is able to graduate or do masters. So you have to, you know, have mercy on yourself, take it easy, at the same time strive to be the best in whatever you're doing. So that's all I'd say.
Wow. I'm sure our awardees and would-be awardees are taking notes from here. The support system is very, very important, because this is a true test of one's mental health. We must take advantage of what is available to us. We must strike a balance and always ask questions. Always, always, always ask questions. I know in Hausa it said, "Me tambe abaya bata," you know, and I'm sure it's said in all our languages as well, that he who asks questions will not get lost. So ask questions and get clarity. Thank you so much, Teju, for that. Timmy, how about you? What's that message?
I'll start with the aspiring applicants, the people who are here and hope to one day get an Erasmus scholarship. Don't let your first degree be a hindrance to what you think you can do for your master's. My first degree is in theater arts. I studied theater arts from the University of Lagos, and by default, it was a huge shock to people that I would even get a scholarship to do a master's. So I'm saying that to say that there are certain people who study things like theater arts, or even like Wayne Lade, who did French. People are like, is that a thing to do a master's in? There's no limit to what you can do as long as you have your mind set to it. And you know, it's good that the European Union has this scheme and they're happy to fund programs like this. And just like Wayne Lade said, go through the catalog, find something that matches your interest, not the course that you studied. If you have a passion for dancing, fine, look for dance-related courses. If your passion is in filmmaking, look through the catalog. There is something for everybody. And if you don't find it exactly as it is, you will find it merged with something else that you didn't even know you had interest in or that you needed. But do it, and you will find that, you know, your horizon will open up. Because, you know, I had to go through courses in social sciences that I didn't do in my background. And of course, like Teju said, you will have those moments of, how did I get here? What am I doing? But you'll be better for it. Because, I mean, now I can speak about anthropology and ethnochoreology that I didn't have a background in, but that's only possible now because I pushed myself to do this course. There was only one thing that tied to my bachelor's, and everything else just sort of made sense. So don't let your course be a hindrance. Even if you studied, I don't know, what's the most? Whatever it is, go through the catalog, you'll find something for yourself. My twin did visual arts and she found something in the catalog. So there's no limit to what you can find there. Then to the scholars, to the awardees, I'm not going to reiterate anything that Teju has said because everything is 100% valid. So keep that. The only thing I will say, two things that I will say to the scholars is, one, you are there to study, yes. Keep your focus in mind. There will be a lot of things that will come and distract you. And I'm not saying parties and stuff. That's the least of the things that can distract you. I'm saying you will see things, you will experience things that your colleagues from other countries will capitalize on, but you remember what your focus is. That's like the one thing that will keep you grounded. Remember where you're coming from, remember how you got here. Keep that in mind and just stay focused on what you're trying to achieve. That's one. And two is, yes, you are there to do a master's, but there is a whole lot more to life. There's a whole lot more that makes you a well-rounded human being outside of academia. So keep your eyes open for opportunities, because you will only see opportunities when your eyes are open to identify what opportunities can look like, right? If your interest is in, something else, but you are studying something else, it doesn't mean that you need to kill that part of your life just because you're doing a master, right? Find opportunities in that area that is in the country where you are and just try and explore. Example, I was a costume designer before I left Nigeria, and when I traveled to do my master's in dance, anthropology, and all of that research business, they brought an art curator to the program to give us a lecture on archiving and all of that business. And afterwards, I recognized that as an opportunity. And so I could ask her, hey, what are the chances that your gallery or your museum will be open to hosting my exhibition? I have a collection of work, I want to do an exhibition. And this is outside of my master's, outside of the program that I was studying. And they were like, oh yes, all I needed to do was drop a page, and that's it, I got a solo exhibition in Hungary. So I'm just saying this to say, keep your eyes open for opportunities outside of your program and take them, because those are the things that, like, at the end of the day, in addition to the degree you get and the training that you've gotten, all of those other things will then, like, really chart the path for your life after the master.
All right. Thank you so much, Timmy, for sharing. And okay, so we are running out of time, but Winlade, I'm sure you have something to share, that message for the awardees and the would-be.
Okay, so for the prospective scholars, I think Temi has already mentioned the most important thing, which is to check the catalog and streamline whatever you want to your interest. Let it align with your interest, because when it becomes difficult, your interest will definitely keep you going, because this is something you're interested in, this is something you have chosen, and reasons why you have chosen it will definitely inspire you to keep your focus intact. So for the awardees, I think the most important thing I think they should know is that they are going to a different setting. So you shouldn't expect the usual. You are not going to Nigeria. If it was going to be another Nigeria, I'm sure many of you wouldn't have wanted to go, because you already have a Nigerian experience. So here you are going for an European experience. You want to see how things are over there. So be open, to learn, to pick up new hobbies and all that. For instance, I could not ride a bicycle when I was in Nigeria. And on getting to France, my classmates suggested that. I said no. I hesitated. No, I don't want to hurt myself and all that. So he insisted and taught me how to. So I started bit by bit. Then I mastered the skill. And this is what is very interesting about human. What you didn't want to do, you master it and you get obsessed. So everywhere I went, I was riding bicycle, irrespective of the weather. At some point, because I was in Strasbourg, University of Strasbourg, and where I stayed, my residence was like had Germany as its backyard. So I could go to Germany for shopping. So I would just pick my bicycle, then straight up to Kiel in Germany, buy whatever I have, pack it. Then, in short, I became an ardent. I even went on a tour and all that. So there is a way to ease everything you are going through. Go on tour, travel. You can travel while studying. You can travel. So, and by so doing, you definitely meet many people. So be open to making new friends. For instance, I spoke about the bicycle tour. It was around a river that bordered Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, River Constance. So the guys I invited in, one is a German, and the other one is an Austrian. We met in Switzerland, and they were discussing about it, and they invited me, and I had to go there. So in a way, it was a way for me to cope with the rigor, the academic rigor of an Erasmus Mundus program. And also, food is important. I love food, and I think you should not sacrifice the comfort of your belly for whatever academic standard you have set for yourself. There should be a balance. Make sure you eat very well. And if you are going to France, you can maximize the opportunity of being fed by cruise restaurants. There are restaurants, that's cruise restaurants in different campuses, and they sell food at a cheaper rate for students. So you can just go there, eat very well, and go to the library, read. Yeah, just be open. It's a new experience. Enjoy it. Make the best out of it.
Amazing. Make the best out of the experience. Be intentional. It's different, so we must be open to learning. Keeping our eyes open for opportunities. And of course, stay grounded and stay focused. Quite a lot of things we have learned from our scholars, our alumni, actually, who have been through this program and have come to share their experience with us. Thank you so much, Temi, Amy Williams. Thank you, Winlade Israel. Thank you, Teju Bello, for sharing your experiences with us. And truly, it is something to look forward to. I think the long and short of this conversation is no regrets, right? Going through this program. No regrets whatsoever. Thank you so much. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Very, very interesting conversation we've had. But a few more tips and tricks on how we got our scholarships will be coming up. It's a video, and it's coming up right about now. Team?
This prestigious scholarship in European Interdisciplinary Master African Studies. Hi, my name is Odon Olaladeji. A 2020 awardee of this prestigious scholarship in European Interdisciplinary Master African Studies. First of all, I want to congratulate you on this landmark achievement of yours, and I wish you the very best going forward. No doubt the pandemic took its toll on the butterfly experience of Erasmus life that we all anticipated. However, I would not deny the fact that I've had some wonderful experiences in the past few months, from the dynamic academic environment and culture to the intriguing experiences I had with colleagues from all over the corners of the world. In all, I would like to encourage you to manage the changes that come with the transition and adapt as much as possible, because I know that you've got it all in you to thrive. Congratulations once again. See you soon.
Hey guys, I know some of you are going to recognize this face, or you've had a conversation with me in the past. Majority, 70 to 80% of you. But I'm going to introduce myself once again. I'm Olajide Akintayo. 2018 Erasmus awardee, studying under the famed Masters program here in France. It's a good one for you guys, having this PDO event in Abuja. We never had the opportunity for this, but it's a good one that you guys are going to learn from the experiences of my colleagues and I. And I hope it's going to be a good one during the event today for you. I'm going to be sharing one or two tips and some short clips and some videos alongside. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. Just go along with me.
And then this is fish again. This is fish. So say pomo. Say sorry. Pomo. 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 Lele je dis pomo. Pomo. Momo. 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 No, it's not. I'm not saying momo. Mo. Mo. Momo. Yeah. Yeah. What letter is that? Yeah. How do you write that? Like. What letter is mo? Wait. Is it a bad word? No, that's the name. It's P-O. You're making fun of me. No, I'm not making fun of you. This is it. K. Yeah. P. What? You're more. So it's K. Yeah. P. O. M. O.
Puskas is an Hungarian footballer. He was buried right here. He was named after the best yearly FIFA Goal Award that is always given out. Best Goal of the Year award, Ferenc Puskas. We are told he was buried right here. St. Stephen Cathedral, Central Europe, Budapest. It's so beautiful out here. You guys, you need to visit Budapest.
Yeah, the building, lovely.
You know, so far the experience has been eye-opening for me. I've studied with students from different countries all over the world. Like for example, in my program, students from all continents are duly represented. Also, I've had the opportunity to work in a French institution, for example, during the year, and been able to have an idea of the French work culture. So I've also been able to improve my French language and proficiency. I knew the level I was before coming to Europe, but right now I'm at an intermediate level, and I can converse comfortably in French. So other highlights also are, networking with colleagues. I've had the opportunity to taste food from different countries. Like in my program, there is something we do. We call it the food exchange party. So everyone comes together. You cook food from your native food, then you come, you exchange. I've also used the opportunity to cook something from Nigeria. I don't know if you guys can guess, but it's just basically pepper soup chicken. And when they tasted it, I'm sure you guys know the rest of the story. Also, being in Europe has also given me the opportunity to work with the Erasmus Mundus Association. I've worked with people physically and even remotely. I've also had the opportunity to attend leadership training events. Here in Europe, I've met other people, even professionals in different fields, was giving one tips on even how to navigate the job market here in Europe. It has been eye-opening for me. Personally, Europe, for me, I see Europe as cross-cultural. You can travel easily all around. You can travel super cheap, albeit proper planning. The cities are really beautiful. The architecture is top notch. Take it from me, it's super wonderful. I've enjoyed my stay so far in Europe. I've met people from different places. I've learned new perspective based on people's background. So it has been super wonderful for me. And for you guys there, when you come here, in a few weeks' time, I want you guys to be, you'll be free, you'll be open-minded. You should network with people. You should mingle. It's super important. Also travel, take part in activities outside your education. Understand people's perspective and network. You never know where you could need help in the future. It's super important. You also learn from others and also share your own experiences too with others. I'm gonna be sharing other pictures all along the way. I hope you guys are going to enjoy some of the clips I'm going to be sharing just after this. And I'm going to appeal to you guys, people who are from Nigeria who are coming from behind. Try and encourage them. Try and provide mentorship for them in any way or the other. And I think we all shall get to the top. Thank you very much for listening, and do have a wonderful event, guys.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chidima Chikwe. I am a graduate of International Studies and Diplomacy from Benson Idahosa University. I applied to the Masters in Women's and Gender Studies, GEMA. So for me, the motivation for applying to GEMA is because it's both personal and political, as I would say. I'm a sexual violence survivor. and I have gone ahead to work in the development space with sexual violence survivors. So I wanted to sort of bridge the gap in my knowledge to enable me foster gender equality here in Nigeria and worldwide. So my application, okay, so I got to know about the Erasmus Mundus scholarship from a mentor. I have been applying for 2 years, for other scholarships for 2 years. And a mentor
All right.
suggested that
There'll
I
definitely
apply for
be
Erasmus
a little time outside to share more of the videos. But going through the experience from Erasmus scholars who are still in Europe, and of course, learning a bit more, as you know, as was said by the panelists, be open to learning, be open to unlearning and relearning as the case may be. And of course, just keep your eyes focused on what you're out there to do, looking out for more opportunities. All right, so this brings to a close this session, this public session, and we're grateful to all our guests and participants who have joined us this morning into afternoon. We're grateful to you, and we hope that you have found a lot of value in this. The study fair is opening right now, and that will, of course, I'm sure when you were coming in, yeah, the study fair is opening right now. But before then, Annie is outside and he's waiting for you guys out there to interact, to ask questions, to take pictures. There are lots and lots of things that you can do with Eniola out there. So he'll be waiting out there for all of you inside. But we are thankful to you all for being a part of this program. We hope you have found value in this, and we look forward to more enrollees and more awardees next year. To our external participants, thank you once again. And I know there's some goodies out there that you can enjoy. There's the 360, there's the hologram, there are lots and lots of things out there that you guys can take advantage of. So please go ahead and do that. And don't forget to meet Eniola outside this hall. He'll be standing right there to my left. That will be to your right, and he will be waiting for you to take pictures and, of course, have conversations with him. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Don't forget, be persistent. Go ahead and try again and again and again. Don't keep yourself down when you get rejected. Just try again and work on yourself. Who knows, you could be the next awardee. We'll be celebrating again. Thank you and good afternoon. Please be mindful of your personal belongings. Don't forget anything in the hall. Please, your bags, your phones, your chargers, whatever it is you came with, please remember to take them out. Thank you.
just walked